What's up, everybody? Nick Wire back here for the 10th inning, giving you another episode of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we saw the flip from Derek Jeter in the 2001 playoffs as the Yankees defeated the Oakland Athletics 1-0 on the day. We don't have any Derek Jeter plays today, but we do have some more MLB World Series action to talk about. We have some NHL to talk about today, and we have some Olympic Games to get into. So if y'all enjoy this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. And we will start off today in 1881 at the British Open. Bob Ferguson would retain his title with a 3-stroke victory over Jamie Anderson to win his second of 3 and 3 straight major titles. Now we get into the World Series in 1905, and the New York Giants would defeat the Philadelphia Athletics 2-0 in Game 5 to win the series 4-1, and this would be their first of 8 World Series titles. 1 year later in 1906, in an all-Chicago World Series, the White Sox would win 4-2 over the Cubs in an 8-3 Game 6 victory, and this would be the first of 3 victories for the White Sox. We have another Chicago winner to talk about in 1908, but it's not the White Sox. The Cubs would defeat the Tigers 2-0 in Game 5 of the World Series to clinch a 4-1 series victory and win their second of 3 titles. Take a quick break off of baseball, move to 1916 at the first PGA Championship in men's golf. Jim Barnes would defeat Josh Hutchinson by 1 hole in the 36th and final hole to claim his first of 4 majors. 13 years later in 1929, back to the World Series, the Philadelphia Athletics would defeat the Chicago Cubs 3-2 in Game 5 of the World Series to win the series 4-1 and win their 4th of 9 World Series. Now we go to boxing in 1949, and Ezzard Charles would knock out Pat Valentino in 8 rounds to defend the heavyweight title for a second time. Over to team golf now in 1961 at the Ryder Cup, the USA would win 14.5 to 9.5 to win their 11th of 26 overall Ryder Cups. Now we get into the Olympics in 1964, and we have a lot of them to get into. Most of them will involve swimming. So we will start out in the men's 400 meter individual medley, and Dick Roth would set the world record 4 minutes 45.4 seconds to win the gold, and he would end up holding this for 4 years. Then in the 4x100 freestyle, the USA team of Steve Clark, Mike Austin, Gary Illman, and Don Scholander would get the world record in 3 minutes 33.2 seconds to win the gold and hold the world record for 3 years. Finally in swimming, in the women's 100 meter backstroke, Kathy Ferguson would set the world record at 1 minute 7.7 seconds to claim the gold, and this record would stand for 2 years. Now over to the track side of things in those Olympics. We'll start in the women's long jump. Mary Rand of Great Britain would jump the world record 6.76 meters, 22 feet, 2 inches, to win the gold medal, and this would be a record held for 4 years. Then in the men's 10,000 meters, American Billy Mills would become the only American to ever win the event, winning in 28 minutes, 24.4 seconds. From one Olympic Games to another Olympic Games, we move to 1968, and we will start off in the women's long jump, and Romanian Viorica Viscopoleanu would set the world record at 6.82 meters, and this would be a record that would be held for 2 years. Then in the men's 100 meter dash, in those games, American Jim Hines would set the world record at 9.95 seconds to win the gold, and this would be a record held for 4 years. Back over to Major League Baseball in 1973, and future Hall of Famer Willie Mays would notch his last MLB career hit as the New York Mets defeated the Oakland Athletics 10-7 in the World Series. Now we go to the NHL in 1979, and the NHL's greatest goal scorer, Wayne Gretzky, would officially score his first NHL goal in a 4-4 tie against the Canucks, and this would be his first of 894 goals. Back over to the MLB in 1984, in the World Series, the Detroit Tigers would defeat the San Diego Padres 8-4 in Game 5 of the World Series to win the series 4-1. This would be their 4th of 4 World Series titles, and Kirk Gibson would win the MVP. Now we go to the NFL in 1990, and the San Francisco 49ers would defeat the Atlanta Falcons 45-35. Joe Montana ended up with 476 yards on the day, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions as well. But out of those 6 touchdowns, Jerry Rice tied the record with 5 of those touchdowns also at 225 yards, tying the record with Bob Straw and Kellen Winslow. 11 years later, we go to F1 in 2001, and Michael Schumacher would win his 4th F1 World Drivers' Championship of 7 overall, as he would take the Japanese Grand Prix for his 9th win of the season, also making it his 2nd of 5 straight. 2 years later in Major League Baseball, we had the Steve Bartman game in Chicago, when the Marlins were facing the Cubs. The Cubs were up 8-0, and there was a foul ball hit. Moises Alou claimed he would have caught the ball, but Steve Bartman got in the way. Who says what would have happened? Alou wouldn't have caught the ball. But the Cubs ended up giving up 8 runs in that inning, lose to the Marlins 8-3, and the whole Bartman incident, kind of like the whole Buckner incident, would be seen as the turning point in the series. And we end today's video off in 2015 in Major League Baseball, and we had the bat flip from Jose Bautista. The Blue Jays ended up defeating the Rangers 6-3, but in the bottom of the 7th inning, Jose Bautista hit a 3-run home run, followed by one of the best bat flips we've ever seen. And that didn't bode too well with the Rangers, but the Blue Jays ended up winning and advancing to the ALCS. So there you have it. That's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize, but I'll see everybody tomorrow for Nico Dwyer and the 10th inning.